You are listening to Three Kitchens Podcast, a member of the Alberta Podcast Network, locally grown, community supported. We release a new episode every Tuesday. Come join us for a new recipe and a good story. This episode is brought to you by Park Power, your friendly local utilities provider in Alberta, offering internet, electricity, and natural gas with low rates, awesome service, and profit sharing with local charities.
In Alberta, you get to choose who to buy your internet, electricity, and natural gas from. If you switch providers, nothing changes about the delivery of these utilities to your home or business. If you have an existing contract, you're going to want to find out the terms before leaving. If you don't, then it's even easier to sign up for Park Power.
You as the consumer have the choice of who you pay your bills to. Why not choose your friendly local utilities provider? Learn more at parkpower.ca. Hello listeners, my name is Sarah Somasundaram and I am here with my two co-hosts, Erin Walker.
Hi!
Hi. And Heather Dyer.
Hello there.
How are you this fine morning?
This fine morning. Is it fine? I think it's okay.
It's fine.
It looks cold outside. I haven't been out yet. I'm still in my pajamas, but it looks kind of chilly out there.
It does, but it's like perfect because we are recording this on Halloween morning and it's supposed to look like this on Halloween morning. Spooky.
Yeah.
And cozy.
So. Yes.
Until you have to go out and trick or treat, but
I'm still in my flannels, and if I can pull this off right, I'm just going to put like my rain pants over top of my flannels.
Oh, and who did you learn that from?
Sarah taught that to me
right.
for many years.
That's right.
Never show up dressed.
Yeah.
Just show up like you're dressed.
Mm-hmm.
Even at school pickup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
3 o'clock in the afternoon, still wearing the flannels.
That's
flannel
right.
pajamas
but
and rain
you wouldn't
pants.
know.
She's a
You
pro.
wouldn't know.
She's a pro.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it gets super cold, just switch to snow pants over your pajamas.
Yes.
That's right.
Yep.
So I did that. And then I had to go wait in line for something last year.
Oh.
I was in my like full snow outfit with my flannels underneath, and I had to wait outside for half of it and then inside for half. So the outside part was great. The inside part got a little uncomfortable when I had to like unzip my jacket, and I was like, these aren't my flannel pajamas.
Hey, you know what? These plaid shirts now that are so in right now, that just look like your flannel pajamas.
I was just ahead of the times.
That's right. You brought the trend in.
That's a story. I'm sticking to it. Okay.
So what's happening, Erin?
Where do you think the largest banana plantation in Europe is?
In Europe?
Wait,
I
what?
didn't even know there were banana plantations.
What are we
in
talking
Europe.
about? Yes, exactly. I would not. Okay, let's think about this, Sarah.
Okay,
Let's
I
think.
would say
Spain?
Mediterranean. Yeah.
Portugal?
Is that your final answer?
Okay, I'm going to say Iceland just because it's going to
No,
be
I'm gonna
something
go with
like that.
France? I don't know. Iceland is in Europe, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a kind of in an odd spot. Okay, tell us, Erin.
Okay, thanks for killing it, Sarah, because the largest banana plantation is in Iceland.
Why are you mad at her for getting it right?
Because I wasn't supposed
I said thanks for killing it. She killed it with her answer.
Sort of sarcastic.
I'm a little bit
You're sort of
disappointed
like-
that you got it because I couldn't go, aha, because I love to one-up everyone, right? Come on.
This was a sheer guess. So
Okay, you're totally right. Iceland powers and runs their electricity and their heat and everything on geothermal energy.
mhm.
So they live like right on the continental shelf between North America and Europe.
Mhm.
They have massive greenhouses that they started in the 1940s that are all geothermal heated and provide light. And they grow things like tomatoes, cucumbers, strawberries, and bananas. So, super interesting. They don't produce a lot in terms of bananas, but most of the bananas that are a large majority of bananas that you do get in Europe do come from Iceland,
Oh, okay.
which is really cool. And the thing that I think is the neatest about this is because it started back in 1941, since then, a lot of the tropical produced bananas, the banana crops are currently going through quite a huge problem with something called the Panama disease. And it is a fungus that is decimating the Cavendish banana, which is the most commonly consumed banana and what we find in our stores. However, because they started this greenhouse so far in the past, their population of bananas is isolated from this fungus. And so as time goes on, they could actually play a really important role in preserving the species and producing bananas in years to come, because this is right now becoming a huge issue in Central and South American countries where they do produce bananas.
Oh, interesting. Why don't we import bananas from Iceland? It seems like it would be a lot closer.
It's expensive. For European countries, the cost of shipping and importing bananas from South American countries is about the same as importing the bananas produced in Iceland, because it's still costly to produce them there. They have to heat the greenhouses, and they also have to provide the light because the daylight cycle is a lot shorter there. So the cost of the bananas is about the same.
And geographically, they might have to fly them over instead, or ship them over instead of truck them over, I guess, from South America, right?
You think they're trucked? Are they trucked from South America to here? That's a long way.
I know that avocados are trucked and limes were trucked. So I don't know what.
That's a really good question.
Well, that's very interesting. They could very well save the banana,
right? So cool. Iceland bananas.
I love Iceland. I haven't been to Iceland, but I love everything I hear about Iceland. So
I'm very sad that I did not hear about this before we went there, because I would have definitely put this on my list of things that we needed to drive by and see.
Totally.
But I thought that was just really cool.
That would be cool to see in a greenhouse.
It would
be. So, Sarah.
Yes.
Are you making something with bananas today?
I am not. It is, by the time this episode comes out, it would be holiday season.
Mid-December.
That's right. And I've got a perfect recipe. Well, I'm going to have the perfect recipe. I just have to take measurements when I make this. For something you can do with your leftover turkey.
Oh, nice.
Or leftover whatever poultry you use. So it's a soup. I usually make the soup I make the broth of the soup with the turkey carcass that we have pulled off all the meat off of it.
Right.
Throw it into a big soup pot. Boil it for about 2 or 3 hours with some garlic and ginger in it. Strain the broth. And then basically it's coconut milk, a little bit of curry powder, like a teaspoon of curry powder. If you want to add more spices, I'll write those spices up.
It's not going to be the whole bag of curry powder as I imitate Sarah making her goat curry for Diwali last year.
Put some in there. Just put a little.
We'll just dump the bag.
Dump the bag. It's just, it's a very, very little amount of.
I'm glad you gave us measurements because I feel like your little bit of curry powder may have been skewed in my mind.
This is not going to be like curry-ish. This is going to be very soupy. It's just going to have a slight hint of curry powder in it. And then coconut milk goes in it.
Yeah.
And then what you do is you then put brown rice. And this is really important. You put brown rice into the soup and you let it cook in the soup. And the reason you use brown rice, even though I prefer white rice will go soggy in this. Brown rice won't.
Right. Okay. It's a tougher grain. It can kind of stand up to that.
Yeah. So then it can stay in the fridge for longer as you're eating it.
I see. Yep.
Right. And then you put all your leftover veggies in there. And you've got a delicious soup that now you don't have to just eat turkey sandwiches. You can have turkey soup. But I'm not making turkey this year.
You've already decided.
I'm going to do this with chicken. And you do this perfectly with chicken.
Okay.
Welcome to the first half of this episode where we haven't made up our mind yet.
Which is like most of my episodes. I remember when I went, I'm going to make like the chicken, what was it? Enchiladas. And then I'm like, I'm not going to do chicken. I'm making chorizo. Anyway, with chicken, with the chicken ones, you don't have to wait for it to be a leftover. You can just make this soup.
Yeah.
But you need the chicken with the bones on, so that it kind of takes one step up, like you're basically making the broth, and then you're pulling the meat off and then putting it back into the soup.
Yeah.
So it'll be good.
I like
Fabulous.
it.
I just have to have a piece of paper and a pencil and write down exactly what I'm doing, because it's one of those things that I wing it. I do it to taste.
I like it. I like it when someone else wings it.
And that should give everybody listening the confidence to say, I cooked with this, I've got that left over.
Exactly.
It's leftovers in your soup.
It's leftover soup.
Stretch that Christmas
Exactly.
dinner or
And then it's not just
or whatever.
one texture, right? You're not just having the meat next to mashed potatoes or the meat between sandwiches. You're having a soup as well. So you've got tons of options there.
And that's so good the day after to just throw everything into a pot, let it cook up, relax.
Yep. Smell it all afternoon.
And then you get to pull out this cozy, warm, oh, man, am I in the mood for this?
Me too. My
And
feet
it's the
are cold
perfect
right
weather.
now.
It's the perfect weather today, because I am cold in my house. Are you guys cold in your houses? Like, I am freezing.
I got my flannels on.
Me too, but I also have a sweater because I'm so cold.
Oh, man.
But it's great soup weather.
Oh, I love cozy meals.
And I
so
like that
much.
it's just a little bit of a different take with the ginger
Yes.
and the curry.
Yeah.
This episode of Three Kitchens is brought to you by Alberta Blue Cross. Alberta Blue Cross understands that running a small business is tough, and they understand business owners in Alberta are busy.
Let Alberta Blue Cross give you peace of mind with a group benefit plan. They offer health, dental, life, and disability coverage for your employees.
Alberta Blue Cross group benefit plans are easy to manage, anywhere, anytime, and on any device, making it easy for you and your employees to access. To learn more and explore your options, head to ab.bluecross.ca. Okay, we are back after having some soup in this perfectly cool weather. Cold. What, did I just say cool? It's cold.
It is kind of cold.
Well, it's better
Well,
this week.
it's going to get worse. Keep it in
Heather.
perspective.
It is winter, so we do expect colder temperatures are coming our way.
We're going to go with two options here. We're going to do the leftover turkey or chicken that you had in your fridge that you cooked prior to the day that you're making the soup. So if you do it that way, you just need some couple of cloves of garlic, slices of ginger, and you don't have to mince these, but you just bruise them with the back of your knife.
Okay.
When you are making your stock, you put your turkey carcass in. I find that word really funny, carcass. So you put the turkey carcass into a big soup pot, and you throw some garlic cloves in there, smashed. You throw some slices of ginger. By the time I went to make this soup, I really felt like a Thai spin on curry soup. So I threw lemongrass in here. I sort of broke it and bruised it, and I threw lemongrass in here, and I boiled it for at least 1 hour, I would say. As the broth is going, you slice up an onion and you fry that up in a different pot with your minced garlic, minced green chili, and some slices of ginger. Just fry that up lightly, and then you drain your broth. Remove whatever meat you want off of your turkey, whatever your leftover meat is. You put it into the pot.
Free meat. It's the free meat.
And this is now, at this point, this is your choice. If you want to go the Thai way, take a tablespoon of Thai curry paste, sort of loosen it up in the oil that you're frying all the onion and garlic and ginger with. If you don't have Thai curry paste, you'd rather go like the curry powder way, then just sprinkle you put 1 to 2 teaspoons over the chicken, mix all that up, put the broth in, and let that simmer for, I would say, at least 20 minutes so that all the raw flavors cook down. And then you put your leftover veggies in, whatever you want to do. Or if you don't have any leftover veggies, just cut up some carrots. I put cauliflower in this one. Oh, and then you add coconut milk right at the end for 10 minutes. And then your soup is ready. Here are 2 spins on this. As soon as you put the chicken in or the turkey in, before you put the veggies in, take 3/4 cup of brown rice. It has to be brown rice.
Right.
And put it into the broth and let the broth cook the rice. If you don't want to go the route of the rice, this is another great option, is that once you have all that soup with the meat and the veggies, so no rice in it, heat up some rice vermicelli and make a noodle soup. And that would be a great different take on a turkey soup. So you got 2 ways to go with this, and this will all be on the website. I decided to do this with chicken because I didn't have any leftover turkey.
So did you do the curry?
I didn't do the curry paste. I did the curry powder. I didn't have curry paste, unfortunately, but I had lemongrass. So maybe you tasted the lemongrass in there.
Absolutely.
So it had that little bit of a Thai kind of style. And then serve with a baguette or with noodles.
Well, I had this for breakfast mere moments ago.
Oh, that's what you were eating.
That's what I was eating because I didn't forget about this recording today. It was so good this morning. I loved the cauliflower in there.
Yeah.
And since you spoke about putting coconut milk in soups, I've had a chance to make my own chicken soup.
Nice.
And I've got a few ice cubes of frozen coconut milk in my fridge.
Yeah.
And so what I did when I made chicken soup is I just took an ice cube of coconut milk out and put it into my soup, and oh my God. My kids always have an ice cube in their soup. I don't know if this is common practice in your house too.
To make it
because
cool
it's too
it down?
hot, so they have to cool it down with a little ice cube in it.
We just wait for it to cool. I'm like, just blow on it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Ice cubes come out onto our table, and I had some coconut milk ice cubes left over from my Anona Swizzle cocktail that I had a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, what do I do with these ice cubes? And I was like, I'm adding them into my chicken soup. Such a delicious, creamy flavor to add in there.
Yeah.
I just love it. And I love the cauliflower in the soup.
Yes. And I went with cauliflower because I didn't have any leftovers for this soup, right? So, I mean, in reality, after Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever big meal that you've had, you would have leftovers that have already, so whatever vegetable or meat goes into this would be sort of defined by the dinner you've served the night before.
Yeah.
But cauliflower seemed to go well with like that Thai craving that I was having. So I'm like, I gotta go for.
Yeah, like I haven't thought of putting cauliflower in my soup. So I loved that all around.
Was it like super chopped up?
I did chop it up. I did. I don't like big chunky soup. So that's again up to you, right? If you like big chunks of food in your soup, then go for a bigger cut of chicken and cauliflower or whatever veggie.
Well, when it's really big, I don't know, like if I have a big potato in my soup and I put it in my mouth, then I'm doing the like, too hot, can't bite into it. So I think smaller pieces are more practical for a soup too.
Right.
I just wanted to say what I thought of the soup.
Tell.
Not me personally, but my kids have been sick recently. Everybody's kids have been sick, it seems.
Yes.
And it was like, not that I shared it with the sick kids. I ate it myself, but I was thinking it is like the perfect soup if you've not been feeling great, because it isn't the big chunks. I don't know. It's like soft, easy to eat. There's nothing in there that's like gonna give you a sharp, I don't know how to say it. It's like everything just sort of blends together and it's like comforting. And it reminded me, the texture of like how the cauliflower sort of just falls apart reminds me of the rice in the
congee.
Yes,
which is like that kind of comforting, soft.
Yeah, I was thinking a lot of congee this morning too, as I was sipping it down.
And
but very different flavor profile.
But you could do a congee with that sort of flavor profile. So that's what it reminded me of.
Thai congee. Oh wow!
Yes. With chicken. Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought it was so when I first opened it and smelled it, I was like, what is this? Like
Yeah,
something in here smells
it's good.
just so good.
It makes me really
Mm.
think of my green chicken curry, but
Yeah.
in like a soup form because I just ate it like 2 nights ago
Mm-hmm.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Like a
Mm,
squirt of lime juice
Mm-hmm.
on there at the end would
yes.
be good.
Yes.
I
Some
don't think I've,
cilantro on top.
yeah.
Not for Erin,
Ugh.
but you know.
Now you ruined it.
I'm not sure I've ever cooked with lemongrass because I don't really know how. So I like the tip.
Just break it, you bruise it just like an herb, right? It just brings out the oils once you kind of distress it.
Yeah.
Some people cut it and then again with the back of their knife, they kind of smash it down and
Yeah.
then you just throw it into the soup. You don't actually eat the
Yeah, you
lemongrass,
take
right?
it back out. Hmm.
With the lemongrass that we get,
Hmm.
just take the outer husk out. So you want the green part that's inside.
Do you buy it frozen or you buy it
It
fresh?
comes in fresh, but
Yeah.
it's quite old, and then I throw it
Okay.
right into my freezer right after.
Okay. I'm gonna buy it next time I'm at the. Yummy. So many great tips. And just to
hmm
make your chicken soup just that little bit different than
Just,
you've
yeah, a
made
little
it
bit
before.
different, right? Like just
Yeah.
you've been eating turkey, you're gonna have turkey sandwiches probably. You're gonna have turkey sandwiches with gravy
Mm.
probably. Oh, that
But
sounds
even
good.
the flavor profile of the turkey and the meal you eat
Yeah,
is probably not going to be anything like this flavor
right.
profile.
Hmm. Yeah.
So you
Just to
get to
change things up.
change the
Yeah.
flavor instead of just like the same thing
Yeah.
again.
You're sick of turkey now and you want to
Because we
change it
do
up.
get sick of
Yeah.
turkey, by the second or third day, we're like, ah.
Now
So
what?
this is a soup I always make, but this time I made it with the lemongrass, and I think this winter I will make it that Thai way, and I think I will serve it with noodles. I want to try it with noodles instead of the
Mm.
rice in it.
Mm.
Yeah.
I got some brown rice kicking around in my cupboard. Now I know
hmm
how I'm going to use it.
This is the only thing it's perfect for.
I remember buying it being like, maybe we can change up a rice. And I made it once and said, nope.
I guess it goes in like a
Need a f-
pilaf or something like that, maybe, where
Right,
you want that texture, but
right,
it's
right,
not
right.
Right.
not my favorite.
No,
Yeah, no, me
no, if
neither.
you eat rice, you gotta enjoy your rice.
Yeah.
I mean, with this kind of soup, you could have, let's say you have leftover white rice and you just put it in when
To
you
heat it.
serve it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
don't put it in while it's cooking, but in your
Exactly.
bowl,
That would
put
work.
rice, put soup over. I think that would be good.
That
Yeah.
would work totally. But this is a great lunch to take to work after. You can freeze it, right?
Mm.
And it's free meat.
It's free
Hello.
meat.
Get everything you can off that carcass.
That's right.
Okay, I'm gonna give one more tip about the stock.
Okay.
I don't think you can do it with cooked meat. But if you are making this soup with, like you went to the store and said, okay, I feel like soup. And so you go buy some chicken to do this with. And say, for example, like me, you go and buy chicken thighs.
Okay.
Bring a pot of water to boil, like a real robust boil. And you put your chicken thighs into it. So with bone in, because you want the broth to pull the flavor from the bones. You put your chicken thighs in for, I would say, between 3 to 5 minutes. And then you take them out and you rinse them off and you throw away that water. And then you start your stock from there. Your broth will be extremely clear.
Oh,
So, like, when you go to Asian restaurants sometimes and you eat wonton soup or pho, and you can tell that certain places have extremely clear broth, like you
Yeah.
can, and then some have a very kind of murky broth. That's the difference. And I feel like it tastes different.
so what happens
So
in that 3 to 5 minutes?
all that scum, do you know that scum that you see that rises to the top of
Is
a
it
soup sometimes?
fat or what?
I think it's just, I don't know what scum is. I've always looked this up, but all that stuff gets removed and then your broth ends up being very clear. But so that's a really quick, easy way of clarifying your broth.
That just seems like too much work.
Good
The
tips.
soup.
Yeah, that does seem like an extra. Sometimes, though, as Erin, as we have found out,
Yes.
sometimes extra steps do actually it seems like, oh, why would I
Yeah.
go to that extra work? Sometimes it does actually make a difference in the end. And we go, I think those steps were worth it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
oh, God. So much work.
I know. But it's
Boiling
worth
water. Sounds like
worth
my
it.
kids.
Does this water seriously have to boil? Oh.
Can't I make craft dinner without boiling it?
Yeah.
You can try, but you'll regret it.
I am going to make this soup. Even if it's like my regular method, but I'm putting some of those flavors in there, like Erin said,
Yeah.
to add like the coconut milk or whatever into the curry, just
And
so
buy that
good.
lemongrass and pop it into your broth. Oh
Yeah.
my God, I love that in broth.
Yeah.
I don't know how or when I discovered that, but a couple years ago I started doing it.
Mm.
And I just, no broth is the same now without that lemongrass.
Mm.
And you know all those curry leaves that you guys bought and put into your freezer?
Oh
I
yeah.
still have some.
I still
Oh, you
have
do?
some.
Perfect. Okay.
Yep.
Instead of lemongrass, you can do that with curry leaves. So if you want more of an Indian profile, do that with curry leaves.
Mm.
Let's just put it all in. Do you ever put Parmesan rinds into your broth too?
No.
I
Yes.
don't know if it'd be as good in chicken. Is it as good in chicken?
I do it in my chicken broth. I have a
What do you do it in, Heather, that you said
Yeah.
would be good with chicken?
Well, if you put it in like a bolognese, like
Oh,
a
okay.
something tomato based, like an Italian
Mhm.
profile maybe. If you're simmering, when you simmer a
Yeah,
bolognese
yeah.
like all day, put
Right.
your
Yeah.
Parmesan rinds. When you finish your cheese,
Yeah.
Yep.
just pop that in the freezer, right? And then put
Yep.
it into the sauce and let it simmer.
Does it
just turns
disintegrate?
soft. No, not completely. No.
They
Okay.
turn into like a big
It looks like a
spongy-looking
mushy
thing.
thing, and you just take that out. Some people say just eat, you can still eat it, which I'm sure is probably delicious,
haven't
but I
done
usually
that
just
yet.
toss it. Yeah.
Oh, I never thought. Oh, thanks for the tip. I'm going to.
Yeah, a Parmesan rind in your broth is also a gooder.
Mm.
Because what do you do with Parmesan? That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. You're stretching all your ingredients.
Totally.
And Parmesan is expensive sometimes,
It
right?
is,
So
yeah.
make use of it.
Yeah,
Oh,
use
what
it
a
all
great
up.
tip. I
It's
love
like
that.
salty and
It
don't know
adds
what
that little
that-
bit of like
Extra
umami
salt.
flavor,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
got that,
yeah.
it's got its own kind of bitter, salty profile going on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you put
Yeah.
that in your soups, Erin?
I put in when I make my regular broth. So I know that the broth that I posted for my arroz con pollo did not have this because that one is the broth that I make just for that.
Okay.
But upon discussing this further, I think I'm going to put my regular broth that I use in every day up
Yeah.
on the blog so that everyone can now make this with the lemongrass, with the Parmesan, with the curry leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, put all the variations.
Just put everything in there.
When you put the Parmesan in, does it then turn the broth murky?
Oh, my broth is always unclear.
Okay.
Yes, thank
Which
you.
happens.
I can't wait to make it. I'm just going to make turkey just so I can make this
Yes.
leftover soup.
Nice.
I'm going to do this next time. Oh, next time I boil backs, chicken backs, I'm going to be making the soup.
Yummy.
So good.
It was it good? Yeah, you guys
Yeah,
enjoyed it? Yeah,
really
good,
did.
good,
Yes.
good.
And now for the fine print. Join us over on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Pinterest, and on our website at threekitchenspodcast.com. And remember, when you like, follow, subscribe, and review, it helps more people find us. Thank you so much for listening.
Welcome to the first half of this episode where we haven't made up our mind yet.
Which is like
Tune in
most
for
of my
later.
episodes.